Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast, where we discuss all things empowering, encouraging and inspiring. My name is Yvonne Ellis. I'm an empowerment speaker, author, coach, trainer and founder of YEME Empowerment, a company that facilitates the empowerment of people. I help people to make positive life change, live in their purpose and develop into their best version of self. I share stories, interviews, spiritual encouragement and actionable tips to empower, encourage and inspire you to live the life you want. So if you want to live the empowered life, join me each week on my podcast so we can take the journey together. Hello Empowered Lifers, welcome to episode 56 of Living the Empowered Life podcast. Thank you all for listening in. If it's your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to check out my other 55 episodes if you haven't already about living the empowered life. I'm sure you'll find something of value to you. And to my continued supporters, I appreciate and love you guys. Thank you for listening in. If you haven't subscribed or followed this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on, whether that's Apple, Spotify or Stitcher, please be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss the bi-weekly episodes, and be sure to share with anybody you know that needs a dose of living the empowered life. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about a broke mindset is worse than a broke pocket, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more in a minute, but I wanted to share just a couple of quick things with you. Before I do that, I hope that you are all well and that your new year so far is going in a positive direction. Mine is going okay. I only started back at work on January the 10th after taking a couple of weeks off, and I must say I have been extremely slow and sluggish so far, just trying to get back into the rhythm of things. You know, it has been a little bit difficult, and I'm sure if you've had some time off over the Christmas holidays, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most of you probably went back this week as well. But yes, trying to get back into the rhythm of things is taking a little bit of time, but I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time, you know, I will be right back, you know, where I was pre-taking time off. But yeah, you know, this week has been just about catching up on business admin, starting back doing a couple of contracts, catching up on a bit of master's reading, not too much to do with my assignment because that's already been submitted, but we were given reading to do. When you do a master's, you do a lot of reading actually, and we were given some extra reading to do on certain topics, and I didn't get time to do that because I was really busy, so just catching up with some reading to do with that. And also as well, some exciting news. I released information about my 5th book on Tuesday on Instagram. If you're not following me over on Instagram, be sure to follow me over there. It is YEME_empowerment. I will leave all links to my social media in the show notes below. But I made an announcement on the same day that Prince Harry released his book Spare, which most people are going spare about. But basically, I released information about my new book, which is called Exceptional, Not Expected, An Ordinary Woman's Guide to Living an Empowered Life. And I did say in the last episode of 2022, the wrap-up episode, that I was going to do something bold and courageous for this book. And if you haven't guessed by now, I put myself on the front cover. I believe I've earned the right to put myself on the front cover now. It's my 5th book, and especially about the topic that I am talking about, because an ordinary woman's guide to living an empowered life, that basically is me. You know, I'm an ordinary woman who is living an empowered life, and I've learned to live exceptional and not expected, not by society's expectations, not by people's expectations. I have just learned through the grace of God to live a life true to who I am, to the purpose that the Lord God has given me, and to the vision that he has for my life. And in this book, I just share with women how to live the life they want, how to start to do that, and things that they need to look out for and how to address it. So, I shared this on Tuesday. I had lots of lovely feedback and lovely responses to this book so far, first thoughts from people. I also told people that this book is available for pre-order, and I've had quite a few pre-order sales so far. So thank you to all of you who are supporting this book and buying this book and pre-ordering it. And, I really appreciate it. The actual book itself is going to be released on January the 30th. And I will release more about the book in due course. I also shared actually on that last episode of 2022 that my daughter had something to do with the book. Again, she was the one that took the picture of for the front cover of the book, and she did an excellent job. She's really good at taking photographs. And also as well, I did share that my husband gave me the idea for this book because he said it would be a good idea for me to share my wisdom, knowledge and insight with other women on how to live an empowered life. So this book has been a real family affair with the three of us, and it has been a nice experience. And I'm looking forward in the future to sharing and collaborating with my family again on other books. But yes, this book has been a family affair, and I'm really pleased with how it's come out. But as I said, in due course, I will share more with the book over the next couple of episodes and on my Instagram social media, so you will be sure to know all about it. And if you are interested in getting a pre-order of this book, please see the link below and I will contact you shortly. Also as well, guys, in the last episode of 2022 wrap up, I did share that a new segment I would be starting in the new year is for my listeners to send in quotes to empower and encourage other listeners. And I really do feel this is really important. I think this is an excellent way of us to join together in community, to empower and encourage and motivate each other, to send in quotes, to give quotes. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's not something that takes up a lot of time. How you can find quotes, you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on the internet, you can find them maybe in something you've read. All you have to do is just send in that quote to me, whether you DM it or inbox it or email it to me, and I will share it at the beginning of the episode. Now, you can stay anonymous if you want. You don't even have to give your name. You can just share this quote and I will make sure that it gets shared and the person who made the quote gets the credit for it. And if you do give your name as the person who sent in the quote, I will share your name as well, that you're the person that sent in the quote. So either way, it's a win-win situation for everybody. But guys, I really want to get you involved in this, and I'm hoping actually that you will help me to fulfill one of my goals this year for the podcast, besides still, keep going in 2023 by the grace of God. And that is that I will have one brave listener this year that will send in a quote, to share with others, or a brave listener who wants me to talk about a certain topic that I can build an episode on. So either way, guys, I hope that you can help me to achieve this small but significant goal for the podcast. And if you are the brave and courageous listener that wants to help me to do that, then please do get in touch and share a quote or share an idea for an episode. Either way, I would be happy. So do get involved, guys, and I hope to hear from you soon. I want to look back on the end of this year and say, yes, I've achieved this goal. Let's do it, guys. Let's get involved and empower and inspire each other. So guys, on that note, I want to share with you a quote that I came across, and it's by Steve Maraboli, and he says, once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. Now that is facts. Everything starts from your mind. So this quote is perfectly in line, guys, with what I want to share for today's episode, which is called A Broke Mindset is Worse Than a Broke Pocket. Now, I did do an episode on signs of brokenness, which was talking about, more kind of brokenness overall, mentally, emotionally, physically and spiritually. And I did go more in depth about signs of brokenness overall in episode 47. So do be sure to check that out if that's something that you're interested in. But today I wanted to talk to you about just it more in terms of it affecting the things that you are doing. So whether that is to create more income for yourself, whether that is to achieve your goals, to break habits, habits, to take new opportunities. I do think that a broke mindset really does affect that, all those different things, if you're trying to do them. Now, empowered life is one thing that is going to keep you from achieving your goals in 2023 is a broke mindset. Your mind drives all your action and activity. Your mind is where your imagination is housed, the place where big dreams are conceived and birthed. I believe, from my experiences that I've had in my life of, having a broke mindset and also at times experiencing a broke pocket, that out of the two, having a broke mindset is far worse. And in this episode, I want to share with you some signs of a broke mindset and things that you can do to kind of remedy that. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is a broke mindset? Basically, it is where your mind is all over the place. You're distracted, you're unfocused, you're uncommitted to anything, you're undecided about anything, you start things and you never finish them, your concentration is poor. These are all kind of signs of a broke mindset. And as I mentioned, people with a broke pocket can bounce back, but people with a broke mindset will remain broke unless it is addressed. So I want to share with you some signs of a broke mindset. And I think this is really, really important to understand and know, because I don't think a lot of people really think about having a broke mindset. Sometimes people just live with a broke mindset without realizing that it's broken. I know back in my earlier years, my early 30s, I had a broke mindset when it came to certain things, and I just lived with it. I didn't think that I had the power to change it. I didn't do anything to rectify it. And what used to happen as a result of that is that I would start things or not commit to things and stuff, and I didn't realize that a broke mindset was the cause of it all, and I just accepted it and didn't do anything about it. And I think it's important to understand how a broke mindset shows up and, the things that it can affect, so that if you are suffering from these things, you can have a chance to try and remedy it, try to resolve it so that it won't affect the things that you want to achieve in 2023. So a broke mindset is always thinking comfort. A broke mindset spends most of the time engaging in activities, pursuits and interests that keep them broke. A classic example of that is just always watching TV, always just on the internet, always on video games, always doing this type of stuff. That is a sign of somebody with a broke mindset. A broke mindset will not act on ideas that can create extra income or wealth. Maybe a person has extreme talent, they have really good ideas, they're always creating things, doing things, but they're not doing anything with it. They're not using it as an opportunity to create extra income or create extra wealth. A person with a broke mindset always has excuses and looks at their circumstances to validate their broken mentality. Now, this is something that is major. People with a broke mindset who are fearful or scared of changing their mindset, their broke mentality, always look for validation to stay where they are. They're always looking to validate their broken mentality, and that is so, so sad. If you're looking to live an empowered life, it is important that you know and address your broke mindset. Obviously, without knowledge, you might not know that you have a broke mindset. But once you have that knowledge and you compare that knowledge to how you are in your mind, and you realize that this is where you're at, that is a huge, huge step. Now, the last thing I want you to do, if you have heard that little list that I've shared there and realize that you've got a broke mindset, is to start being down on yourself. Because that's one of the things I talk about over these episodes about, being hard on yourself. Being hard on yourself and beating yourself up about things that have happened is not going to empower you and help you to live the life you want. Self-condemnation is something that is, totally a horrible thing to live with. So in sharing this information, it's not to make you feel shame about yourself. It's solely to help you to identify and highlight the area where there is a problem. Now, the good news is that you can remedy, you can fix a broke mindset. I want to share with you some things that helped me to deal with my broke mindset. And, I want to say this up front, that in dealing with a broke mindset, it is a daily challenge. It is a daily walk. It's something that is done step by step by step. You won't fix your broken mindset overnight. There might be other things that you have to address first before you can start to address your broke mindset. But if you want to go forward in 2023 and, grab all the opportunities that, you see, create wealth, build business, create more income for yourself, do things that are going to add to your life, then you have to definitely deal with your broke mindset. So one of the things I want to suggest to you is to read books to empower your mind in a positive way. Now, I know a lot of people are not really big book readers. I'm a big book reader. I find books to be something that really enriches my life. As I've mentioned in other episodes, you can listen to audiobooks, you can find books on YouTube. There's so many different ways that you can get engaged in books. But if you're not really into books and you find it very hard to get into books, I would suggest you start with books that you enjoy reading, books that you find interesting, on topics that you find interesting, because books are going to empower your mind in a positive way. Books also focus the mind. So do start with finding books that you find interesting, on topics you find interesting, and engaging in those topics through the books. The next thing I want to share with you is to have healing time for your mind. Too much social media, too much information, too much lights, too much noise is not good for the mind. Having time, even if it's for half an hour a day where you're not on social media, scrolling for your phone, on YouTube and stuff, really does help the mind. Because obviously one of the things I mentioned at the beginning of the episode is that a sign of a broken mind, a sign of a broken mindset is distraction, is being unfocused. These things usually find their kind of roots in other things like internet, like being distracted by your mobile phone, being distracted by things and noise all the time. Do try and spend some time in the quiet so you can heal your mind, having that time in the day to reflect on your thoughts alone, think about how your day's gone, what was good about your day, what didn't go so well, maybe thinking about, where in the day did your broken mindset show up, will help you to identify that. So do spend that time, if you can, just sitting in the quiet and having that quiet time. Another thing I should have mentioned earlier is that low self-esteem, low confidence, low self-belief are also linked to not attempting to address a broken mindset. When you don't think that you can do better, when you don't think anything can change or whatever, it's usually kind of linked to low self-esteem and low confidence. But you have to start to address these little issues if you want to start to have a healed and developed mindset. Another quick thing I want to share with you is to engage in your skills and talents, develop them. These things are going to help to develop your mindset. As that quote said at the beginning, once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. If you're spending time doing things that you love, engaging in it, developing it, and, creating things out of it, it will affect other areas of your life. It will affect your low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, it will affect your confidence. It will increase your self-belief. These things are really, really important to engage in because it will have benefits overall for your entire life. Another big thing that is going to help you with your broke mindset is to shift your identity. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as somebody that is capable of changing? Do you see yourself as a winner? Do you see yourself as somebody that has huge potential? Do you see yourself from a point of view that is empowering, or do you see yourself from a critical, negative point of view? Do you see your value? Do you see yourself as somebody that is capable of more than what you think? Maybe not. But one of the key things that's going to help you with your broke mindset is new thinking. And what is the key between that broken mindset and new thinking? It is development. If you can start to develop yourself in the areas where you've identified your broke mindset, you will start to see a shift in the way that you see yourself. Now, this is a day-by-day, step-by-step process. You will experience victory some days, and on other days you may feel like a failure. But the key thing is that you don't give up. Personal development is a journey. I've been on my own journey for a number of years now, and I can tell you that in addressing my broke mindset, it helps me to see myself in a totally different light. Now, the Bible scripture I want to share with you today comes from Jeremiah 33:6, and it says, "Behold, I will bring to it health and healing, and I will heal them and reveal to them abundance of prosperity and security." If you turn to the Lord God and pray and ask Him for help, He will help you in the areas that you are experiencing brokenness. Now, I totally understand what it's like to experience a broke mindset. I know how it can affect plans of life, the things you want to do, the goals you want to achieve. But when you can get healed from it, when you can start to see signs of healing, you will start to notice so many other things in your life will start to be healed as well. You will start to see that you are able to complete things. You're able to focus on things. You're able to have self-discipline in things. You're able to see things through to the end. It's not an overnight thing. It doesn't happen straight away. But if you can just apply some things to help you to conquer your broken mindset, I promise you will start to see results. So the question I have for you this week is, how are you going to address any areas of brokenness in your mindset? I know that's a very personal question to ask, but you don't even have to post an answer to it on social media. You can inbox me or email me if you want to share it with me, but it's something for you to think about. So, as we go into 2023, let's address all areas of, brokenness in our mindset so that we can live an empowered life to the full. So that is it for this episode. I hope that you have found it something of interest to you, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.